Hi everyone. After seeing episode 2 of the Deep End series, I wanted to come back on here and share my thoughts and feelings with you. And just really want to start off by saying that, I feel sick to my stomach by what I watched. What I realized is that the entertainment business has no interest in showing the authenticity and the reality behind Teal Swan and her movement. What movement, you ask? Yeah, right. You wouldn't know what that is based on this series at all. She's here to solve human suffering and not to create it. I feel duped by this production and the staff that filmed it over the last 3 years. They made us feel like they saw the reality of how much people are helped by Teal and how our community life is maybe boring in a sense. We literally just work on our laptops most days. We do a lot of cooking together because, we're big foodies, we're into health. We take walks in nature, we watch movies and series together, and I guess that was all too ordinary and not controversial enough. So they created something like dark and ominous out of their own creation by piercing together clips and choosing music to support these fiction narratives, which they fabricated themselves. It wasn't the reality of what happened. It's no different than taking a magazine or a book and cutting out all the words or sentences that appeal to the story that you want to tell, gluing them together out of context, and then play music to create this tone and experience for the audience who isn't able to see what anything portrayed was really like because all they get are these pasted together clips which honestly make no sense. And we literally watched this film team themselves have numerous emotional breakdowns witnessing, the heart-filled healing that these guests at Teal's events were receiving, and they related to these guests so much. And we shared so many moments together with this film team, all over the wins and successes, with what we'd helped these brave people face and overcome at these retreats. And it felt like they were on our side, but what breaks my heart is that the way they've portrayed Teal and her work proves they actually weren't. And that terrifies me. That's a breach of trust that no one should ever have to experience or even anticipate. And so much of what they asked us, including myself, for example, when they asked if I was born with the name Cyan or not, I can clearly see now how they were just setting us up to give them content that they can dice and splice to their liking in order to tarnish everything we stand for. I chose to answer them authentically about my name because that is what I stand for. I am proud to have been able to move into an empowered space in my life where it felt like I didn't have to leave anything to be determined for me, rather than chosen by me. And my name was one of those things. Matthew, as I was born, had all of the odds against him in this life. He wasn't seen or raised to be who he really was, and he had to enmesh and fit into the mold of what was acceptable around him, regardless of the impact it would have on him, and him not knowing anything about himself, and instead only focused on who he had to be in order to feel some semblance of love and fitting in just to survive. Um, and in 2019, I had reached this point in my healing path where it felt like a turning point for me, and I wanted to powerfully own my life and my identity by selecting a name that felt like it fit into who I am now. And Matthew just didn't feel right anymore, and the people in my life that are closest to me agreed with me that there was a period of time together where we brainstormed because I involved the people that are close to me in my healing process and want to include them by my own choice. And when Cyan was thrown out there as a potential name, I knew with every fiber of my being and every cell of my body that this was it. This word has the energy that I feel like represents me, who I choose to be now, and somebody who gets to decide how his life goes. And the name Cyan is what I have chosen. And yes, I involved my close community in this decision, but ultimately it's my choice to make, and it's the one that I own. Nobody else told me to do this. And I feel sad that I have to explain this to you, to anyone, because the series made it seem like this is something that could have been something I did in order to belong to the social group. But what nobody saw was the hour-long explanation that came along with me bringing this up in that interview, or the pain that I went through that caused me to heal to then be able to live my own life and not live according to fit into what somebody else wants for me, which is the opposite of what it feels like they're portraying here. Um, and just the rest of the episode truly makes me sick to my stomach to even recall. It's like the way they portrayed Teal was disgusting, honestly. And to me, I believe that this was done to slander her, and I'm not okay with that. What you get to see in these episodes are clips that are literally 30 seconds out of hours long conversations, not to mention they add music that already pre-frames how they want you to view their cut and paste job. And for whatever reason, they decided to make Teal look like the bad guy, and I can't stand for that. Teal's done nothing but support everyone in her life, including myself, in such a loving way, and doesn't want you to conform to anything but what you want for yourself and for your own life. And I can't help but also want to share that in the spiritual community. There's this like stigma where it feels like we don't lose our humanity or something like that, but we are still human in the sense that we feel hurt and pain, and we have negative reactions when people do hurtful things or choose to not care about our best interests. And I believe that a grand injustice was done by this film, and I invite you to really look into Teal's work. And don't let your opinions or facts come from the entertainment industry. They're not interested in helping you or helping people like Teal is. They're more interested in views or money or keeping you hooked on something, even if that something hurts people and isn't even true. Thank you for taking time to watch this today and to listen to another side of the story. I'll talk to you all again soon. It's starting to rain, so just in time. Bye, guys.